What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage. In this episode, we are checking out my buddy Brian's shop. Brian is the owner of Widerstandsfahig as well as Project Nine, and this is his 2019 SEMA build. Stay tuned. So like I said, this is Brian of Widerstandsfahig and Project Nine. He's doing a lot of really cool stuff with the 944 chassis and even getting into some of the mid-engine Porsche cars like the Gen 1 Boxster back there. But right now, why don't you just tell us a little bit about this SEMA build? That's the project that you're hot and heavy on right now. Matter of fact, he's telling me to hurry up and get the hell out so he can keep working on this thing. But this is the Project 9 full wide body kit.
It is, right. So this is going to be the first chassis that has the entire kit, from the front chin spoiler that I just finished within the past really week or 10 days.
Which really just tied the whole front end of the car together. You got the drop-in fender vents, the fender flares, the side skirts.
Right.
And you just finished the diffuser for the 944.
Yeah, so if you follow my social media, you've seen that on my Widerstandsfahig number 3 car, I installed the first street version of our Project 9 rear diffuser for the 944. Many projects that I'm happy with when I complete that diffuser, as I would add pieces onto that car, the smile on my face just kept getting bigger, man, because it really turned out great.
I saw pictures. It was awesome. You unfortunately don't have
I don't have that car here.
Yeah,
no.
Okay. That's something that the 944 community has needed for a while, is a nice diffuser for these cars. And
well, I tell you, the best part about it, I think, is that the way I've designed it, it can be installed at home by someone really in their home shop.
Okay.
And it is a configuration that there are adjustments when you're installing it, so it can fit different fuel cells maybe, or different muffler configurations. So that
is there any cutting that needs to be done to the chassis at all?
No, no cutting.
That's awesome.
It rivets on, other places it bolts on,
yeah.
And just depending on your bumper configuration, you know, there's a couple of different ways to mount that Venturi,
yeah.
And then most of the strakes hang off the Venturi.
Okay. Right now we don't have an engine in the car, but can you tell us what power plant's going in this?
Yeah, so this is going to be the 525 horsepower LS3. It is, we're using it for many reasons. Of course, you know, aftermarket support, it's race proven, and it's for the power to horsepower ratio, and cost effectiveness. It's a great combination. We're going to be throwing a Harrup ITB setup on top. It's a Hurricane setup. It's freaking smoking hot, and we're going to do something very cool with the hood as well, so stay tuned.
And you're actually going to run an Audi O1E transaxle on this too?
Yeah, I'm developing a kit that'll be sold under my Project 9 label.
Okay.
And it'll be a complete kit with the axles and everything you need to bolt the thing into your car. And so we have one that was done by California Motorsports. It's got a WaveTrack LSD, and it's fresh and ready to throw in the build.
The O1E swap for these cars, that's a huge deal for the 944 community. The NA transaxles are awful. The turbo transaxles can hold a decent amount of power. The 968 transaxles are great, but they're ungodly expensive. Rebuilding them is expensive. So having something like an O1E that's a lot more readily available, and there's dog ring kits out there. You can turn them into sequential transmissions. It's kind of the sky's the limit for those, so that's going to add a lot of capability to this platform.
Certainly. The torque capabilities, handling capabilities of it is on par, or if not surpasses, the AOR axles.
Okay.
The gear ratios, especially for the LS swaps, are much more conducive to what we're doing in street driving. And there are two different options that I would recommend. It's the front wheel drive DQS and DTS versions. Okay. And those are what you're going to want to look for.
Okay. Awesome. From the back of the car, we can see the roll cage that went in. Is this 1 3/4 tube?
It is 1 3/4 095 wall. It started out as an auto power bolt-in cage.
Yeah.
So we wanted the capability to pull out a couple of the bars, the harness bar and the crossbar, if there was any reason, because this is going to be street driven, that the owner or a future owner might need those bars out of the car.
Right.
And then the rest is welded in. And we added a couple points to the cage as well.
And let's talk about this rear bumper cover here.
Yeah, so this is really only the second one that I've ever produced, and I really intended on keeping it as a one-off. It is actually the bumper that I used on Widerstandsfahig number 1.
Okay.
And so this is the only second one that I've ever cast out of the mold. And
You guys should remember the '01 car. That's the car that I did a video with Brian a couple years ago, his red race car. So I'll post a link to that video up here as well.
yeah, so we decided to use this on the SEMA build, and what really is great about it is it just so happens this dimension here and the knock-in in this bumper fits the rear diffuser, the Project 9 rear diffuser, almost perfectly.
Yeah.
And so it's really going to look like the two were made for one another.
Yeah. Doing a slim rear bumper like this, or the Euro bumper, whatever it is, it just cleans up the lines of the back of the car so much. It's a good look. Now, this car obviously has some particularly wide wheels and tires on it right now. Those 315s?
Yeah, they're 335s.
Holy crap, okay.
It's an 18 by 12 with a 335, and we have both front and rear on this. And this one is actually spaced with a 2-inch spacer, so we could bring it out. And what we're really doing with the car right now is sizing up for custom cut wheels. But with this kit, you're able to run up to a 18 by 13 in the rear.
Okay.
And it should accommodate 335 with no issue.
What about the front?
Yeah, so the front is an 18 by 12, 335 as well, so you can run a square set of 335s with the setup. It's about a 0 offset. I've got all of the wheel combinations, sizes, and offsets listed on the website with the kit.
Square 335s, it's got to just be an obscene amount of grip.
Yeah, I run something similar on my racer. I run a 345 in the back, but 335 in the front, and I can say that the car is extremely stable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially with a big chassis mount wing and diffuser and front lip with a nice little splitter, man, these things are going to stick like glue for sure.
You know, the great thing about this kit, and the reason really why I wanted to design something like this, is that you can bolt these over fenders on your chassis in probably an afternoon and throw your race wheels on and you're out the door. It's really meant for a racing crowd, being able to pull the over fender off and slap a new one on if you make a little bit of contact.
So that's a little rundown of the SEMA car as well as the products that Brian sells through Project 9. On top of that, and this is something that I've seen some of Brian's 944 work, but I've never seen his Boxster work, so this is exciting for me. We'll dive into this, but between a kit like this, and we're probably going to be developing an 07K swap kit for the Gen 1 Boxster and the Caymans as well. These cars are getting so dirt cheap. Having an aftermarket support like these kits and engine swaps, I think that the Gen 1 Boxsters are gonna start taking off. I think it's gonna become more of an enthusiast car than it ever had. It was a lot of people, I mean, some people took them racing, but it was a lot of people that bought them, drove them as is, enjoyed them. Now I think we're gonna see some people really modifying them, which is awesome.
Well, I have to agree with you, and it's one of the reasons why I want to start with this chassis in particular when I started the mid-engine stuff. There's a crowd that these are now in their price range, and it's affordable to customize them,
right,
and race them. As the aftermarket continues to grow for them and products like this become available, I think the market can really turn on them.
What was your design idea? What kind of led you to the shape that we see here, and how close is this to the production version?
The concept, if you're familiar with any of my YouTube stuff, I've kind of explained and have this process on my YouTube channel. When I sit down to design this stuff, I don't want any influence from other designs, so I'll just sit down with pencil and paper and start sketching things. It just so happened that my rear vent design here is something that they're kind of picking up on the newer generation of Boxsters. What I wanted to do again is get more tire underneath the car, for racing purposes. And I'm an autocrosser, so stick is very important to me. And so having plenty of tire under the car is a great idea for that. What we're looking at here is the capability of fitting a square set of 335s on the Boxster as well. So
I don't know if you guys fully understand how much rubber that is. That's an obscene amount of rubber for a square setup. 335s in the front, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's plus 26 inches worth of tire in the front, and so you're looking at over 4 feet worth of contact patch on the chassis.
And the capability that these cars have on stock size tires, I can't imagine what that steps up to when you're increasing that contact patch by that much.
Well, and the great thing about it is that we're able to travel in both directions when we expand that wheel width, so it doesn't screw up the geometry. One of the major things to have to contend with these is the radiators up front when you're adding tire size. That was one of the first things that I had to do was move those radiators and design a kit to move the radiators and accommodate the bigger tires, and a kit that someone could do in their shop, their home shop, and not have to chop the radiators out and buy new lines and recharge the system.
Awesome. And this rear scoop, from my experience with Caymans and talking about how to improve cooling and airflow and everything else, scoops that come out of the side of the car, like the GT4 scoops, are proven to have a real performance advantage over the factory setup. This rear over fender and that additional scoop, that's going to be a performance gain as well. It's not just aesthetics.
The kit will continue with side skirts as well as front and rear details.
I think you've done a good job of matching the factory body lines on this one as well. Are you going to do a full chassis mount wing setup for this as well? Is that your plan?
Yes.
Okay, and diffuser?
Diffuser probably. Really
that's a little tougher with the engine back there managing your airflow.
Well, and that's a great point. What I can't do is decrease airflow around the engine because we'll burn the thing up.
Right.
And that's a major concern. And people have burnt their engines up putting rear diffusers on the car or putting pans on the backside of the car, and really ruining some of the airflow.
Interesting technical challenge. All right, I want to thank Brian again for having me at his shop and showing me around. Not only is it just cool to see someone as talented as he is and see their work, but being a fellow Porsche and 944 lover, it's always nice hanging out and talking. I will post all the links to his social media stuff down below. What about coverage for SEMA? How can we see the car finished? Is it just going to be on your social media? Is it going to be on Renlist as well?
Yeah, so I already have a build thread going on Renlist, and simply search SEMA 2019 build and you'll find the thread. I'm doing daily updates on my social media on Widers 944, and Mike's going to link this stuff. We'll have coverage from Renlist, from racingjunk.com, and a couple other media sources.
And if you're going to be at SEMA this year, this car will be in the Racing Junk booth in the Central Hall.
Booth number 24621, I believe.
24621.
Yep.
There's that many booths there?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. 4 days isn't enough to check everything out there.
I couldn't go last year because, well, I had a child during that time, so that didn't work. Don't know if I'm going to make it this year. It's always been a bucket list deal for me, so fingers crossed.
We need to get him there, right, folks?
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks again to Brian, and we'll see you next time.